Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, share sponsored by nobody. If anybody wants to sponsor, it's available. We're going to be starting the two dots of the Mendal and Mudalef. We got to Kol Sheyesh Lo Yimatirim Ben Lo Odom B'Mizbeach Yevim Lo Mishum Pikul. So we had the rule. Mendal and Mudalef. Mendal and Mudalef. It's today's daf. Mendal. Mendal and Mudalef, the two dots. I send the recording of Gimel. We got to the two dots. If you want to do Chazar after, do Chazar. But it's there in the recording. So the no, it's really this last. It's all one. It's not even a sugi of a kachim. Which, by the way, just to mention, someone said Rova said that he needs someone to explain to him a brayso, but they brought the brayso. It's not. It's last sugi. Says the so we have the klal. What's the rule? The rule is that in order to be pigul, it needs to be something that has material. Meaning, not that it is the matir, but something else is matir it. So if you have anything that goes to the mizbeach, you mean that is mutter to either be eaten by the odom or by the mizbeach, so then it's considered to be the ashesh b'pigul. Talking about it, one's going to bring down a brayso. And the brayso is very parallel to the Mishnah, but with her suffix. So let's see. What are we talking about? Because where's Pigul mentioned? Pigul is mentioned in Shlomim. The pasuk is mentioned. So it says by dir Shlomim ve'inazur mimkachim Yisrael. There it speaks about Shlomim, and there it says Pigul. So maybe Pigul is only something which is similar to Shlomim. Ma Shlomim yuchadim necholim shnei yamim v'layla echad. Av kol necholim shnei yom v'layla echad. So maybe only korbanos they're eating for 2 days and night. Which other korbanos are eating for 2 days and night? No. Kippur is eating for 2 days and night. So the truth is, when I saw the sentence of this Gemara, when I was preparing the daf, I said, there's any other korban that's shnei yom echad? Oh, very good. How do you know? No, you knew it? It's because 2 days and night? So the Gemara is going to get to the Gemara. Very good. This brayso, the Gemara is going to explain each sentence of the brayso as we go forward. But the Gemara is telling us now that right now that's what the Gemara is referring to. We're referring to prayer. So maybe the only the Gemara is going to tell us.
Is it heck to go to Shlom or the Toy? So Toy is interesting. Toy is a Shlom, but Toy is only one day.
1 day in the night, right? That's right. So B'chor is, so when the Gemara says maybe Pigul is only something similar to Shlomim, like B'chor. Says the Gemara, Nechol Yom V'Layla B'Nayin. How do I know korban is eaten day and night also has Pigul? Talmud Lo'imar Mi Basar. Mi Basar. Mi Basar sounds from the Basar. Kol Sheshiyorim Necholim. So it has to be something which is eaten. Because you have basar, so you have the basar left over. So then you have pigul. So what about oilo? Oilo has no shiraim. There's no basar. Talmud lo'imar zevach. Zevach is going to add oil. Because oif is not considered to be a zevach. Zevach is only animals. Which is the flour. Even a luk shevet shebetzorah. Talmud lo'imar asher hem magdishim li. Anything that's kodesh, that's pigul. So the pasuk, this pasuk of Asher Magdishim Li, that's a pasuk in Tumo, because it says v'inoz b'kodesh v'yisov v'loichal l'shukot Asher Magdishim Li. Be careful not to become tummy. So that pasuk of Tumo. How do we know? We want to know what pigul. Says the Gemara v'osi noisar chilu chilu mitumo. Noisar learns to Tumo in the Gzir Shava of chilu chil. Sorry. V'hasi pigul oven over in noiser. So you have Gzir Shava noiser from pigul from Tuma, and you have pigul Gzir Shava from noiser. Rashi brings it. By Tuma it says, by noiser it says ki kodesh mechilel, or by Tuma it says v'inoz v'lo yichalel chilul. And we learn also when regarding pigul, we have oven that we said before. Each one it says the word oven. Maskerso oven. So you have a Gzir Shava to tell you that it's that also oifos and menachos and and Shemin is included. Now, Torah already points out, this is already, we had a few tidbits of previews to these sugyas, which we're going to get to Be'ez B'Shem in Parak Ezer B'Koyim, which is the Pashas, the Parak of Zevachim, meaning Alpi, Kabbalah, comes with there's no machlekes. We'll get to that. There's no machlekes in Ezer B'Koyim. In the whole Mishnah, there's no machlekes. Even though some of the things are in machlekes, but the Parak doesn't quote a machlekes. So anyway, there we have the cloud. When you learn something, Hekesh, Ksera Shaval, what can learn something? A learning in Hekesh can teach by Hekesh. That's what we saw before. It does not. We learned in Daf Shabbos. So here Torah points out this is the raya that something is learned Ksera Shaval can teach Ksera Shaval, because Noiser is learning Ksera Shaval from Tameh, teach Ksera Shaval to Bigul. So Adama learning Ksera Shaval, Milam Ksera Shaval. Okay. It says the Gemara, Ma'achal Shasif the Rabbis called over. So if I'm talking about everything, why is it Shlamim? And the pasuk called before is wrong. And then it says Pigul Yeh. Why is it Shlamim? Shlamim has material, right? Because you have to put the blood in order to be matir the basar or the chaylev to be eaten. Then you have pigul. Ha'oilo domo matir is besor lemizbeach. By oilo. Also, now this is very similar to the Mishnah. In my Gemara, not this blue Gemara, they have over here two dots. It looks like it's a quote for the Mishnah. It's not a quote for the Mishnah. As we'll see, it's almost a quote for the Mishnah, but there's a few words here different. This is not the Mishnah. It's a part of the Brayso. And the one's going to go in a moment to explain this entire Brayso. Ha'oilo dom matir is besor lemizbeach. By oilo, putting the blood on the mizbeach allows the meat to be on the mizbeach. And the hides go to the koyanim. Oilo soif dom matir is besor lemizbeach. So by putting the blood, you can put the basar on the mizbeach. Chatas soif, which with the bird is a chatos. Dom matir is besor lekoyanim. They eat the basar. Parmen Yisrafim, V'sirim Yisrafim, which are what chatois premiers that are being burned. By putting the blood, you can put the fat on the mizbeach. What? No. Edible. Edible mizbeach, but not edible for a human. What? No. Or is that edible? Or is given to Kohanim.
Yesterday's daf also talking about certain iris that are soft that are edible.
We spoke not
allowed to eat it.
Not yesterday's daf.
I think it was yesterday.
We had the alio, very good. We had the alio and have kavches. The kavches they was spoke about or alio.
But he also mentioned about R.
But you're talking about in our case, talking about these not necessarily things are being eaten. Talking about parmi strovim nothing's eaten. Oilo nothing's eaten. But it's you have to put it in his mizbeach or give it to somebody. So by parmi strovim, you put the blood and you get the imurim on the mizbeach. Which nothing is matir them. They are matir others. Koimetz is for the mincha, you put the mitzvah on the mizbech. The levoino is the spice, you put on the mizbech. The aktoimes, which goes on the mizbech. Umichas koyanim, which goes kol on the mizbech. Umichas koyam Mashiach, which goes completely on the mizbech. Umichas nesochim, which are the menacha they bring of the person that donates. Which we'll see in a moment. The adom, and the blood. The blood itself goes on the mizbech, nothing is matir the blood. Shimon Oimer, different Rosh. Mashtoim yichodim sheyesh boy mizbech achitzoin. Shlamim is only in the outside mizbeach, not inside. Of course, sheyesh mizbeach chitzu chavim olam mishu pigul yotzu parmen isrofim the sirim isrofim u'sheinu mizbeach chitzu kishlamim ein chavim olam mishu pigul. But you take away everything that's done inside the heichel. Parmen isrofim, sirim isrofim are done inside. That's what you do the avoid with the shiva. You do hazois, you do on the kindness, and then you burn them. They're not done outside; they're done inside. So that's not pigul according to the Shir. Again, learning from Shlomo. So this is very similar to the Mishnah, but not exactly the Mishnah. You see, there's words that were not mentioned in the Mishnah. Now the Gemara goes into Omar. Kayoytze b'Shlomim, mind you, what's like Shlomim? So the Gemara says what Mo said. Bechor, tenechal l'shneyoyim v'lay lechat. Taking for 2 days and a night. B'mayasi, how do you learn it? Ibn matzinu ikal mifrach mal Shlomim shetun smicho v'nesochim. How will I learn B'chor from Shlomo? if you want to say it's a binyan b'metzinu, you can't. B'metzinu, I try to say everything's similar. There's things that are not similar to shlamim. And the three things are smicha is we have to lean on the carbon. Nesachim, you have to bring wine. And you have to pick up the leg and the breast of the carbon. It says by the pasuk of Pigul, and we say it's a klal particular. Ochel shlamim ochel. So even though it says ochel together, I'll see in a moment. It's a klal particular. You add things that are similar to shlamim. So when I trade klal the smicha adad, and these two, you put a klal. It's not a klal throughout the klal. Ochel yachel yamashlish v'zel shlama. So the ochel ochel is together. The two clothing. Says the Gemara, Marava Kedami B'Maravo. So Marava said, Kol Mokom Shata Moitze Shte Klos Asmuchim Zalazeh Hatel Prat B'Nei Medu Prat. Yes, two clothes one to each other. You could use it for klal by the Sorry. Says the Gemara, Shani Maharbe Luke Shemen Shemitzoyva. Right until we got to what are they adding? Even Luke Shemen. So 1 second. Now let's go back to understand next Gemara. The Gemara we spoke about in the Mishnah. In the Mishnah we had a machlekes. The machlekes was like this: Nesachim is wine, can become with the carbon, and they can come alone. What does it mean coming alone? As Rashi mentioned in the Mishnah, you can read the carbon today, you can read the Nesachim for another 10 days, so they can come alone. So if they come alone, then there's no matir because they're coming on their own. There's nothing that makes them mutter the mizbeach. But if they're coming with the carbon, so then the Meir says the carbon is not to them. They're putting the blood on his back, then I can add the wine. Chachamim say no. Why? Because I have the option not to bring them with the carbon. So even if they're bringing the carbon, they're not considered to be matir. Similarly, regarding Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah. Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah goes with the carbon. It doesn't have to go with the carbon. So same machlekes. So now the Gemara says the following. We spoke about Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah that you do have pikul. It means even though they can come alone, it's considered to be something that has a matir. Hamani Rameir, that's Yita Rameir. The Tanya, Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah, Chayvim Alam Mishu Pigul, Divrei Rabbi Meir. Rameir holds this pigul. Why? There is a matir for it. What? The carbon. Even though you could bring the lug on its own, right? But now that I did not bring it on its own, the one understands right now. So it's part of the carbon. Aim a seifo. Let's continue. Umoitzenis minichas desachim. Take away the desachim. The Adam and the blood. The blood is not going to get to us. But the desachim. Asler Rabbanon. As we saw in the Mishnah, but a little more elaborated. Then you have mixi be'emo. You have pigul mishu shedam azev material likar. By putting the blood, you can put in a sachin divrei amir. Amruloi va'odom mivi is zevachim hayoim or the sachin mikanda sar yami. You could bring the zevachim today and then a sachin 10 days later. So you have a. It doesn't have to come with the carbon. Even if it did come with the carbon, it's not part of the carbon. You're right. You could bring it on its own, but if it's not coming on its own, it's part of the carbon. So the chora steer. And all this brayso, one that says Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah does have pigul. That's like a man. Then it says the sachin doesn't have pigul. That's like a rabbanon. The chora is a steer in the brayso. So the one my base of Amani Rebbe Doma Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah Masnoisov Shoruli. So the base holds that the Luke Shemen Shemitzoyah, it's not mutter to use until you put the matanis. So he says, meaning what? The other one, the Amar, called Rabbanan hold, that once you sprinkle the blood, when you put the blood on the mizbeach, so you have the oil is already done his job. You still have to put matnos of the oil, right? You have the hazois of the oil. The thing is, you still but that's not part of the process. That's not what it's matir. It's already became mutter, meaning the log already is finished its job even before the matanis. Rabbi Shmuel says no. Until I didn't give the matanis of the oil, I not consider I finished the job of the oil. So what is matir the oil? Sprinkling the oil. So that's a matir. The sprinkle of the oil. So let's see. Oh, yes, Abani Rabbi, don't look Shem Shvutzoy, Masnois of Shorele. But giving the matonis, that's what makes it mutter. So if it makes it mutter legabi pigul, we'll see in a moment. So it makes it also pigul, meaning that it's a part of the process. The time. Look, you have a look of it, so this is a cloud by Me'ilah. We have a whole Masechta coming up of Maseches Me'ilah. But the idea of Me'ilah is, in Kodesh Kodashim, Me'ilah is anything that before the mitzvah was done, you have Me'ilah. Once Nasa mitzvah there's no Me'ilah anymore. Because Me'ilah means as if it belongs to Hashem, but once you finish the process, it's done with its Gedusha. And there's no Me'ilah anymore, at least not Midoraisa. So here, a person went and the Luk Shem Shabbat he brings a oil. Is the Me'ilah? Yeah, of course, it's Kodesh Kodashim. When does the Me'ilah stop? So Rabbanan say the Me'ilah stops once he sprinkles the blood. Why? Because you finish the process. You still have to do matonis. That's not part of the process. And Rabbi Shmuel argues. Let's see.
Why is it better, as far as pigul goes, that it's the fact that it's the matonis that's the matter as opposed to the dam that's the matter?
Because then, even when the look comes on its own, it still has matonis.
Meaning the same day. It's not
same day. A different day, I'm saying. When the same.
The matanas of the loig and the loig are the same.
Yeah, because
the dam could be 10 days earlier.
Right.
And then,
right. Exactly. So when the loig shemesh shabbat soyrom,
the makes it that it has a matir.
Has a matir every single day.
As opposed to the rabbanon may not have had a matir 10 days earlier.
Exactly. So let's see inside. The Tanya look shemesh shabbat soyrom we alim boy achiz or kadam. Yami until you throw the blood. Mizra kadam lo inani v'lo yimad. Once you have the blood, there's no Me'ilah anymore. Lo inani is always throughout Shas. Lo inani v'lo yimad is midrabanan. Meaning, it don't Me'ilah, but the Rabbanan said don't enjoy it. You should not do it. And Rabbi said, no, there's Me'ilah until you give a taras. You're not allowed to eat it, because that's the midrabanan at least. You're not allowed to eat it until you do the matanos. But anyway, what do you see? You see that that's the machlokes, that is the matanos part of the process or not. Really, what does one want to say? Really, behold, like Rabbanan. That anything that you don't have a matir today, meaning you could potentially not have the matir the same day, it's not a matir. So the nisachim that come with the korban, they're not considered to be the have a matir because you can bring it a different day. But look, Sheshim Tzor is different because it has its own matir. Such a great person like Avesa will say such a thing. I'm surprised. It's like special thing more. Why? Say what I've done on the base. How we look babo b'fnei atzmoi the lekule alim asnois of shorelei v'lo finally. Now, when you talk about it, every time you bring a lug on its own, it's always what makes it mutter is the matanis. The only discussion that you have if the blood is matir the lug is only if the blood is coming. If the blood is coming together with the lug, but if the lug is coming on his own, everybody agrees with matir is matanis. Because that's how it works. Rashi explains. If you want to see Rashi inside, Rashi says, "Habor v'yatzvo." The first Rashi at the top. Mitzoy sheyivi hashomoy hayoim v'lugu lachar sayomi d'lekula al matnoisav sharyon lei be'achilo. They have to get matanis. Hoy v'loy kiddush b'kli kishenizek dam hasham. When you threw the blood, it wasn't there. Love shirayim to do v'loy sharli. So everybody agrees when you bring it on its own. What makes it mutter from Me'ilah is the sprinkling of the matanis of the oil. So I said before, according to Amer, what is part of the korban pigul. And therefore there's no pigul. I agree with you. Only when it comes to the asham, there's pigul. If not. And according to you, according to Rav Yosef, you should say what's matir is the matanis.
But this is just Meir and the Rabbanon.
Which is being a rayo.
Rabbi argues on it.
No, because he wants to say Rabbi. So Kol Sheken. Everybody agrees that when you bring the oil on its own, you have to do matanis to be matir.
Right.
And even then, Rameir and Rabbanan agree there's no pickle.
Okay, but maybe Rebbe argues on Rebbe's a third sheet.
No, but what you want to explain the reason of Rebbe? So what's the reason of Rebbe? Because you're doing the matanos by the oil. So by the oil, everybody agrees there is. So that still has to do with that. All we saw by Rebbe is the matanos umatir. That's all we saw.
Rebbe didn't say anything about pigo.
Right.
We're trying to extract the fact that Rebbe said it's din about matter. So if the matanos are matter, so it's also it's mapaga.
Well,
so we
say you see everybody.
We see that there's a case where everybody agrees that the matanos are matter,
but they're not a fagel. Exactly. Hello, Avir Maloilo Rameir. The Sami Kan Zevachim says no, you're right. It's really Rameir. And remove from here the Zevachim. Zevachim is wrong. In other words, we said the Zevachim in the Bryce. That was a mistake. Take it out. And really, according to Rameir, there's pickle. Don't take it away. Tani lug haboy ma'ashav hu adin le'Zevachim haboy ma'zevach. Says no. Even according to Rameir, there are sometimes the lug and the Zevachim have pickle when they come with the korban, and sometimes they don't. So that's what I mentioned in the Brisa. By saying lug has pickle if it comes with the zevach, the Zevachim also comes with the zevach. And the Zevachim doesn't have pickle if it comes alone, and it's same way to the lug if it comes alone. I'm just bringing different examples, different cases where you have and don't have. Not necessarily come to say this and not that. It can be the same case. It's huadim. That's the more. That's the last answer. Says Mochata Soif Do Matias Basol Kohanim. So we mentioned that by oif the blood makes the basar mutar. We know that the Tani Levi called korbanom the rabbis luk shemen shebetzayro. It says called korbanom to tell me that the luk shemen shebetzayro also has a din of pigul. Sakedaitech. Sakedaitech amino mina eish kosachmono ve'avla moitam eish. This is go on the fire. Kamashwan, that's the kiddush. So really, this is not for chatas soif. This is more for the look. Even though, right? So to tell me that it's not part of the korban because it's not part of the ish. Okay. Sorry. Rashi brings over here. What does it mean? Minani mili. What are we going? I'm in the middle of the sukkah. Right now, we're starting with look. It's going to be one brisa. That's why we have here any dots that don't belong over here. So that's one of the confusing dots. The Gemara is telling us like this. I want to bring a raya, the chata soif is something which is eaten. So something like this. How do I know that? It says, I'm not regarding, the pasuk that we're going to bring right now is not regarding pigul. The pasuk we have right now is going to be, come join us for a few minutes, come. Till Chabruza showed up. So we have, I have two famous. We're going to do a bell. We're going to do the bell. So we're bringing here a raya that the sukkah that we want to bring a raya to is that this belongs to the kohen. Kohen can eat it. I want to bring a raya. And where does it mention that the kohen eats all the batanas kuna, all the matas kuna? Where is it mentioned? Where do we have a summary of matas kuna? Which parsha? Parsha's Koyrach. After it was Koyrach arguing, Rashi brings it over here. After Koyrach was fighting the Mechlekas the Kuna, so Kadosh Baruch Hu told we Megal that Aaron the Kohen is the Kohen, and then you had a list of all Matas Kuna. As Rashi points out, even though we have many of them mentioned other places in Torah, but here we're coming to summarize the Yamin together. So what does it say over there? It says, Kol Korbanom the Rabbis look Shemet Shemet Tzorah, that they eat the look Shemet Shemet Tzorah. Sagan Chamino Mina Eish, only something from the fire they eat. But not look Shemet Shemet Tzorah. Because Zachmona V'Hayla Muisam and Eishu Kamashmona. That's a chiddush that they eat also they can eat the look Shemet Shemet Tzorah. The Chomin Chos. What is that coming to tell you? Rabbis Minchas Oimer, Minchas Kanois. They bring the Oimer. Who eats the Oimer? Koyanim. Who eats the Minchas Soito? Kanois is Soito. Who eats it? Koyanim. Why should I think they don't eat it? Once there's a kapara, they eat the food. But if there's no kapara, maybe not. Minchas Oimer is matir the Chodesh. Minchas Kanois levarim oven kasya. It's not the kapara, it's just to come in and show the woman did have Ewa. Continue the psukim. Or the chol chatos, that's also for the koyanim. The rabbi is chatas oif. They eat all the karbonis. They glue chatasoif. Second chamina nevei lohi. You know, how do you kill a chatasoif? With a finger, with a nail. So and that's a miliko. Miliko is it makes the bird in regular birds. So think maybe they can't eat it. That's a chiddush. They are not a matir because they're not a korban. Because now I'm coming to the mechaper. Because Nazir Mitzvah is coming only to be allowed the Nazir Mitzvah to start drinking. To stop being Nazir Mitzvah. Kamash Wala. So Hashem Mitzvah Be'edech Tibei. Now Hashem Mitzvah it says clearly. Kichotos Hashem La Koyin. This is clear in the pasuk. Goes to the Koyin. So he says El Rabbis Hashem Nazir Ke Hashem Mitzvah. You're right. Mitzvah I know. What do you know is similar with it. Asher Yeshiva, what is that? Yechezkel here. This is we learned there in Pashas. We have the idea of Yechezkel is someone who stole from a ger, has no yorshim. We know that someone who steals and lies, nishbal sheker, so he has to pay for it. What happens is Yechezkel he has no yorshim. You also have to do it, and that goes to who? Who do you pay? You pay the kohen. It's completely has a thing of chulin. He can use it to do kiddush isha. That it's it just goes into it is they have a din of mishul gavoya. The point is that what we need for now.
Even when he said the flood, you need a second drug so you can also do the.
Yeah, because you have a. Where do you see the chol before?
It says, what does it say? Asher Yeshiva is that Yechezkel ger?
That's the chol. That's the chol. But the limud over here is that something that belongs to you, not out kodesh, but it belongs to you. Out the fact that you can kaddish isha, right? So he says, Tanya Ablozo Oimer Mishu Ab Yosef Lili, Pigel bedover hanase bechutz, Pigel bedover hanase befrim loy pigel. Okay, he did a pigul for something, so that was it. So we saw over here. By the way, so we saw over here. How do I know a nechol? I'm not sure we had a soif. The entire thing is concluded there. That's the matanas killing. Okay, it says the one now. He did pigul with outside, inside is not a pigul. Now we're going to see what we're talking about. We're referring to Purim and Israfim, Usim and Israfim, meaning the ones that were done inside. Okay. He's standing outside, saying he's going to do hazoyo. Where is the hazoyo Purim and Israfim done? Inside. So he does that, there's no pigul. Why? Because he's thinking of doing something inside. You're doing an action outside with the mindset to do something inside. No pigul over there. He's doing something inside. He has in mind to do it what? To do it to do shiraim, which is outside, like pigul. He's thinking inside and something outside. You have to be including everything outside. It has to be standing outside and thinking outside. So here, Reb Shimon told us that there's no such thing as pigul in Purim and Yisrafim. It has to be shlam. When it says you do have Purim and Yisrafim. Says now, Rav Loza says, yeah, but not every part of Purim and Yisrafim. Only the parts which are outside. He has to do it outside and think outside. What? No, inside there's no pigul. No pigul. Any part inside there's no pigul. What's the pasuk? Asher Yuram Yishor Zevach Shlomi. You learn from Shlomi. Chimal Amad Yishor Zevach Shlomi Me'ato. And the Makesh Parker Mashiach Yishor Zevach Shlomi. You learn Parker Mashiach, which is a primi to form Zevach Shlomi. Mashor Zevach Shlomi Achi Yu Maiso Machshavoiso Zevach Hitzayin. Everything there is outside because there's nothing inside. Parker Mashiach Achi Yu Machshavoiso Maiso Zevach Hitzayin has to be Zevach Hitzayin. That's how he learns. Says the Gemara, I'm not going to Abu my Rebbe, Alocha Kablos Shalom Mishum Yosef. We pass in the way that Elechnami, part of Sofim, the only people you have is outside. Says the Gemara, Moravo, with him with Aleph. Yechezkel Meshicha. Halacha. We don't have base of English today, so there's no Kamina. Halacha is for time Mashiach. Says the Gemara, so don't learn any kachim. Halacha is the time Mashiach. Ela droish kabel schar. Droish kabel schar. How can I be droish kabel schar? See if Chassidus bring droish kabel schar, it doesn't mean just get a reward, but it means it droish and makes a schar as if you did it. You call it Isaac the kachim as if he's doing this kachim. Meaning the two Lashon no difference between them. Why don't you tell me halacha? Halacha is you have a machlekes. I need to learn kachim. I have a machlekes. I learn this opinion, that opinion, I learn a third opinion. Why do I have to know halacha? Halacha tells me after I know the machlekes, what's the halacha? It's not a gelamaisa. So usually I have to tell you halacha. But to tell me halacha, Yechezkel Meshicha, when I don't need to know the halacha, that you should not do. That's what the Gemara says over here. Now the Tosfos brings that we do find sometimes halacha is not negate today. So why you say here is different? So Tosfos wants to say that maybe it brings a few options. He says he wants to say in the beginning that it's only when you have enough community for today. You have halacha like Avi Pesach, there's a community like Avi Milo. Well, there's a few things you have enough community. Now he says, then he says maybe it's a machlekes. Not everybody agrees with this klal. They don't say halacha l'mashiach. Then the third option of Tosfos is that the reason why you don't say halacha is only when he's doing an aveira. Here, what is he doing over here? Pigul. Pigul is an aveira. Person who does pigul is chayav kares. So you want to tell me halacha l'mashiach for someone doing an aveira? Nobody can do aveira when Mashiach comes. That's why I don't want to take halacha. Halacha is time. I'm doing a halacha. But halacha for the aveira I don't have to do. And just to conclude, what's brought down, based on that Rizal, to why, what's the problem Yechezkel Meshicha? It's not just tam negel ma'aseh, but it's more than that. We know the Rizal brings that in the time of Mashiach, the halachas will change. One classic example, very known, is today's halacha ki Beis Hillel, and it will be halacha ki Beit Shammai, because Beit Shammai is the Sadin. So how can you say halacha now in Mashiach? Mashiach is going to change. It's premature. By then the halachas will change. So today halacha is like this way. When you come to the halacha will change. No, but I'm saying that you're right. Some of this, so that's why I don't get to halacha Mashiach. This is how the Gemara ends the sugya. And this will conclude. Starting tomorrow in the Mishnah, that will be the Amud Aleph. Sorry.